This year I'm turning 30 years of age, and for my birthday I only want one thing. I want to meet the babies born in the same hospital as me on the same day. I don't just want to meet them, I want to spend our birthday together. So I'm going to be throwing this reunion on our birthday, and if I can't find anyone, I'm going to be having the loneliest 30th birthday ever. This is the story of how I've spent 4 months of my life. Get your reunions here, get your reunion. Traveling around the world and going above and beyond. I'm actually feeling really gutted. I'm a little bit out of options. Just to meet my twins. So, like with every good story, let's start at the beginning. Here's what I know. I was born on the 3rd of April 1995 in St Thomas's Hospital, London, and that's it. So, I decided I was going to ask the one person who was there at the time. My mum.
Mum, do you know who was our doctor who gave birth to me?
Mr. Ferguson.
Is he still alive?
No, he died.
Oh. Do you know any of the name of the nurses?
No.
What about your midwife?
No.
Did you know any of the other people in the ward that day?
I wasn't paying much attention to anybody else, frankly. I wasn't quite in the mood. It wasn't a social event.
Right, Mumsy wasn't particularly helpful. She knew the square root of nothing. I don't live too far away from the hospital. Plan now is to go back to the scene of the crime. I've had some flyers made. I'm gonna write this up on the notice board, track to anybody, see if I can get any information. Here you see a man blissfully naive as to what happens if you stroll into a working hospital and ask for private medical records.
I've got birth announcements in here.
Because as I arrived with my flyers for their notice board, I learnt a quick lesson. Do not do that. As soon as I turned up, I was immediately asked what I was doing. It was me just saying, I'm trying to have a baby reunion, which maybe sounds mental, literally next to Westminster Bridge. So I guess I'm just going to go and ask people on the street. As I quite rightfully received a slap on the wrist from the hospital, surely someone outside the hospital might be able to help me. Baby reunion. Were you born on the 3rd of April 1995? No. I was cranking the Fosh charm up to 11, but it seemed that nobody wanted to talk to me. It was like school all over again. Hello sir, where were you born? Londoners aren't famously keen to chat. An issue that I found was that the Houses of Parliament wasn't quite the gathering spot for people born at St Thomas's, and I was mainly finding myself speaking to a lot of tourists. Where were you born? Czech Republic. Montreal. In Colombia. You're from Korea, okay, so you don't know any babies born on the 3rd of April 1995 in this hospital. Were you born in this country? That sounds a bit Brexity, doesn't it?
That wasn't hugely helpful. There was one guy at the end there that was pretty close.
The 9th of April 95? Genuinely?
Ultimately, that feels like right now I'm slightly just kind of like floundering. I have no gauge about how many people were born on the same day as me, let alone trying to find one.
Luckily, I knew someone who could help with that. Introducing Afra. She's a friend of the channel and someone who delivers babies professionally. How many babies will you deliver every day?
Me personally, 1 or 2, maybe max. But I guess the unit overall, over 24 hours, could be up to 12 babies born. It would probably be quite hard for you to try and find 12 people within like 69 million. So it's always worth a try.
You're unsure.
It's a needle in a haystack, Max, sure.
Oh God.
If anyone can do it, you can.
Thanks. Okay, right, I've got to go, but thank you very much. This is gonna be so hard. That was not a great call. So 12 people within a population of 69 million. That means the chance of finding one person is 1 in 5.7 million, which is the equivalent of trying to find an individual within 60 Wembley stadiums. When you put it like that sounds nuts.
The odds were stacked against me. Even if I could find just one person, that would technically be a reunion. So I turned to my bread and butter, social media. I need to make this an online series, I think. But before I made any content, I needed to set up an email, which would act as a tip line for any leads.
I'm thinking wherearethebabies@gmail.com.
Are you my baby? Show me your baby. That's something very different. No, that's not.
Were you a baby? @gmail.com.
Are you my baby @gmail.com? Is it available? No.
Who the hell has got that?
Are you my baby 1? Hey! made. With the email sorted, I then made a TikTok explaining my story, hoping the internet would basically do its thing.
Let's put that on the internet.
And the quality of the leads that the email was getting
What have we got?
really varied.
I've been signed up to a horse fact of the day. Apparently, horses can't vomit or burp. I've been signed up to some Texas house viewings. I wasn't after any property in the Dallas area, but that's kind of you to think of me. Hi from PP Poo Poo. One of you sent me a beauty proposal for human hair. Where are you getting the human hair from?
But beneath this tomfoolery, there was one glimmer of hope.
This one is promising. Hi Max, I'm finally catching up with you. Social media does wonders. After a little digging, I found your YouTube channel. All I can say is that I'm impressed and intrigued by what you're doing here. You have some serious talent, and you're right, we're practically brothers from different mothers. Born on the same day, year, and even in the same hospital. And you're right, I'm messing with shut the eye. You. There is a high chance I made you read all of that with your hopes up. Sorry, you're a great guy. That's exactly what you've done. I'm really disappointed. It turns out if you just give members of the public your email address, you're just gonna get absolutely insane emails. And like, even when I do find somebody, what do we talk about? Hi, how's life? What have you been up to for the last 30 years? There is one silver lining, because I don't hugely need to panic, because I have Hostinger Horizons. With zero coding knowledge, I can use AI to make my very own web app in like seconds. Oh, here it is. My very own birthday twin conversation starter. Talking to strangers has never been more straightforward. Let's make some small talk. Look at all these conversation starters. For example, I had no idea that Toy Story was released in 1995. Apparently Timothy Chalamet was also born in 95. Which one of us has been more successful? Hosting a Horizon makes it basically easier than ever for you to make your web app dreams a reality. I've made an app tracking how many sandwiches I've eaten, how much mayo I've consumed. You can pretty much make a web app for basically anything you can think of. Films you've watched, books you've read, number of people you've tracked down on the internet who have the same birthday as you. If you can think of it, you can make it. You can build your own AI-powered web app in seconds using Hostinger Horizons. No coding required. Just type in what you want and it's basically yours. Head on over to hostinger.com/MaxFosh and type in the code MaxFosh at checkout to get 10% off your plan. Right, back to my search.
Nothing was particularly useful in the emails, but over on TikTok, the video was growing.
The views on the TikTok are growing quickly.
The press started to pick up the story.
I don't know why The Independent has now run the story.
Things were about to get a little out of hand.
Because the dominoes had started to fall.
Guys, stop what you're doing. The people of Guernsey are invested. Yeah! It's going global, baby.
Influencers had cabaretier Max Fosh.
The articles kept coming and coming. And then
Greg James, host of BBC Radio 1 Breakfast Show, has DM'd me. Great idea. Breakfast show bit.
Welcome to Radio 1 Breakfast. It's a great idea.
I need to cater for the party, so, it's just about how many cocktail sausages I get, if I'm honest.
My cat Keith was born on the same day as Max Fosh.
Radio 1, newspapers, the Guernsey press, the big boys. This is going nuts.
And all this noise led to my biggest opportunity to find someone thus far.
Big day today. Currently on the way to Capital FM. 9 million people listen to this show. I mean, surely one person listening will get in touch. This is it.
With such a big audience, this was my big break.
How are you? I'm very well, how are you?
And after some pleasantries, we got straight into it.
Max Fosh as well. He's here in the studio, everybody.
I pitched the same pitch I'd done 1,000 times.
So I'm trying to find a baby born on my birthday in the same hospital.
How is that going so far, please?
Well, I'm here, Will, this morning.
Yes.
That's why.
This is
how
what
it's
I
going.
thought. Were you born on the 3rd of April 1995 at St Thomas's Hospital in London? Is that you? 9 million people listen to this radio station.
Surely one of them.
Come on, you'd think, right?
And later in the show, the producers told me that they had something for me.
Now,
No.
like I said, 9 million people listen to Capital, right?
Yeah.
And I can tell you that this morning, right here on Capital Breakfast, Max, we've not been able to help you.
Oh, for God's
No, I'm sorry.
sake.
Max Fosh, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
So good to see you, man.
Another failed attempt, and unfortunately, I was staring down the barrel of abject failure.
Just left Capital. I'm actually feeling really gutted. I thought that would be the ticket, the magic moment. So I'm not really sure where I can go at this point because, as you heard, they have 9 million people listening. So if they're not going to be able to find anyone, I don't think I will be able to. So there has been a development. It's been like 4 days since the Capital FM appearance, and I hadn't looked at the email at all. I thought, you know, people are just going to send me horse facts, there's no point. But I just opened my email and found an email from a guy called Andrew that literally says this. Hi Max, I was listening to the radio and heard about your baby reunion. I'm a newspaper archivist and collect newspapers throughout history. Not sure it'll be useful, but please feel free to come down to my warehouse in Kent and we can have a look. Cheers, Andrew. I don't know whether this is going to be a useful thing to do, although there's no way I'm going to go to some randomer's warehouse in Kent.
I'm currently in Kent. I've been on the radio, I've been in the newspapers, I've done all of that. But weirdly, the answer might just be a man in Kent.
And that man was ready to show me his warehouse.
I'm very well, how are you? Nice to meet you, I'm Max. How are you doing? Oh my word.
So, yeah, this is me.
It smells so remarkable in here as well, it's like...
musty?
Yeah.
Andrew has collected every single newspaper that has been printed for the last 150 years.
There's another original from the Titanic disaster. Prince William and Prince Harry, Falklands War, Diana and Prince Charles, Vietnam War, Led Zeppelin.
How many newspapers are in this warehouse?
I haven't counted, but it's got to be at least 250,000.
This is awesome.
But how would this stack of papers help me? Well, he mentioned that there might be some gold in birth announcements in the papers. Sometimes people will announce their baby, and so he had pulled out a huge pile of newspapers from early April 1995.
So they're going to be in here somewhere. Let's get digging.
And the only thing that we could do was get digging. It was slow work, and having had not much luck for about half an hour, Andrew then found something that Mum hadn't told me about.
There's you.
You found me?
Found you.
Let's have a look. Oh my god. Of course I was in the Telegraph.
Here I am. Fosh, 3rd of April, to Helena and Matthew, a son, Maximilian Arthur, and brother to Talita.
And then a few rows under me,
Oh my god.
there was a name.
Oh my god.
A name born on the 3rd of April 1995 in St Thomas's Hospital.
And that name will be told to you next time when this story culminates. But let me tell you, it gets madder than I could have possibly imagined. Is this... Oh my god, I'm so sorry. You were born on the 3rd of April 1995 in St Thomas's Hospital in London. I really hope it turns up, because otherwise I've just done this on my 30th birthday. See you soon.